I have a friend who can actually see the world. When he looks, he does not turn away until he has taken every detail in. He seldom glances at life, letting his mind fill in details that he missed. Even when he does, his mind has such a detailed catalog of images, he can create a fully accurate image. Most people I know, including myself, look at life and take in enough information to form a mental image and fill in the details from our memory. The more comfortable one is with the environment, the more filled in from memory. That is why we often don't notice changes in our close environment right away. Your significant other got a haircut or new outfit, for example. If the relationship is new, you are more aware of things as the intensity of your feelings causes more diligence and the mind pays attention to details. This phenomenon is also at work with all perception. We take everything in going on around us, and the mind decides what is important and what is fluff, what should be stored short and long term, and what can fade away. This leads to the sad reality that we experience life from a historical point of view, rarely living in the present. This delay in the process of experience can also work backward at times when the mind is so convinced of a thing that it projects it into experience. For example, I put my phone down on the table and go out of the room and return and don't immediately find it where I put it, so search the house only to return to the table and find it right where I put it. In this case, the mind did not immediately perceive the phone, and the mind began a data search of all the places I could have left it, dismissing the original as not where it is. Off you go, looking around, even passing the table a few times while making the rounds. The mind begins to be so sure it is not on the table that it does not see it anymore. At some point, it becomes tired of looking and returns to the table and finds the phone. Such is perception, the thing we trust so well. People say if I did not see it with my own, I never would have believed it. They say nothing apart from my senses is real. Relying on sensory input and language to interpret experience often means missing much of what happens around us. Since our senses must prioritize self-protection and comprehension, they filter out many details to help us navigate each moment. It also sets the stage for the creation of the self that observes and comments on our experience, the great internal I who seems to exist somewhere in the mind and is driving the ship, like some great captain at the helm, always keeping the weather eye on what lay ahead and reviewing the tapes of our days. The funny thing is, when you sit back and try to find where and who this mysterious narrator judge is, you can't find it. It moves away every time you get close. Philosophers and spiritual seekers have struggled with who this inner being is and have not totally come to an exact understanding. The Buddha found in his studies and practice through multiple lifetimes taught extensively on these phenomena. In the Buddhist perspective, the mind in its design has created the position of the internal I to process and store experiential information and to act as a librarian to make sense of input. It is an extension of the ego that separates the being from experience. It is a problem that Buddha says needs to be understood before a person can become free of suffering. As an example, the ego mind likes to attach ownership to experience. I am sad, I am happy, our experience as something happening to or in the person. In Buddhist understanding, the experience of sad or happy just is. It cannot be separated. The experience is whole and of itself. There is no I involved in processing it. There is a way to begin to move toward an understanding of why this ego developed processing system leads to suffering. It begins with the idea of being mindful and present in your experience. There is a lot of teachings devoted to this idea, and I would recommend you find a proficient guide to help you navigate the path. It is a journey, not a quick fix, but anything you do to give you glimpses of being one with experience begins to build the foundation. I ask individuals whom I have worked with to begin by following these steps. When you walk, just walk. Feel yourself moving along and observe the internal dialogue, but lend it no mind. Just let it go like a quiet soundtrack to the walk. Focus on the steps, feeling feet touch the earth, the sounds around, the light and breeze. Let it all flow through you. You, the ground, the steps, the light, the breeze are all now. You and your steps cannot be separated from the path. As you walk, the soundtrack will try to grab your attention, and sometimes it may win, so let it enter, rise and fall away. It is also in the now, no greater or less than the experience. Listen to it for a bit and dismiss the chatter and return to the oneness of walking.